Hello, everyone. It's another Tuesday night in 2025, and you all know what that means. It means the three best words in sports entertainment. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, www.WeLikeSportsPC proudly presents to you its podcast tag team champions of the world, the cliquey Mike Valentine, Gabriel, and his baby face over there. Oh, look at a new hat. We got to talk about that in a minute. We are the 6, 4, 3 and out guys, and this is the Sportz Truth. Gabriel, how are you, sir?
Hello, Michael. Yes, we're in the heat of baseball now. The NFL is giving us plenty to talk about, but New York sports media, they have to hog the conversation, don't they, Michael? They just have to.
Yes, they do, and we will. Man, that's a nice segue for me. I appreciate the layup right there. We're gonna do NBA first, right? But I appreciate the layup for me. We have a special guest, Jordan, who is always commenting on this show when he's not on it. I can see him off screen. He is preparing himself, rubbing his hands together, smacking himself in the face a few times, and he is rearing and ready to go and be on the Sportz Truth. We'll get him in just a moment. But first, and Gabriel, I think I have this fixed. We'll find out. Because we are going to do the walk-up music.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
All right, everybody. It is time for the Sportz Truth. Myself, Gabriel, and our special guest, J.R. Jordan, will be on here shortly. I'm going to talk about all kinds of things today. I don't know if that face is good or not, Gabriel. Can you hear me over top of the music? That's the question.
Yes.
He's not even sure how to answer that question. All right, we've already got one comment up. We got tons of people tuning in, and here we go. MLB will be here today. Two people's teams are playing each other. I don't know who that is, but we'll discuss. We got the Mets. We got the Phillies. We got the Cubs. We got the Dodgers, and we'll talk about them all. And then at the end, we're going to rank the 11 New York sports teams, since both of our guests today are from the Big Apple, or maybe some of you would call it the Rotten Apple, whatever it is, whatever your preference is. We are going to dive into the NFL, and we're going to talk about Nick Sirianni. We're going to talk about Brock Purdy. We're going to talk about several quarterbacks that have new homes and who is going to have the most success in that new home. And then we're going to look at what they are looking at today. They're voting on several things, and we will talk about at least one or two of them. We've already got a couple of comments that I'll get to here in just a moment. And then we are going to start the show with something we don't always do, which is the National Basketball Association and the layup. All right, here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, we've got to bring in the special guest. But wait, before we do, Gabriel, I noticed the hat's different. Look at that. Tell me, sir. Oh, as we get a nice picture of the hat right there. All right. Tell me what that is, buddy.
Yeah, the veterans March, right? Supporting the veterans there. And it just so happens that it's very emblematic of, one of the throwback logos for for
Uh,
our New
wait,
England
wait, wait, wait,
Patriots.
wait.
Wait, what?
It's not even 5 minutes into the show, and you're already doing big words. Emblematic?
Oh my god.
I mean, stop it right now, would you? No, man, I tell you what.
Shoot.
Myself, I'm a first responder. I know Gabriel supports our veterans. I know Jordan here, who will be up with us in just a few moments, feels the same way. We want to look into this camera dead on and tell you we support our veterans, we support our first responders, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you all for your service. And that's what that cap means. Thank you, Gabriel, for wearing it today on the Sportz Truth. All right. Now let me take a swig of this new thing I'm trying here. I don't know, some kind of smoothie that I'm giving a shot here because I'm fat trying to lose weight. So we're gonna try this out today. Not bad, not bad. And if there's some big transformation, then I'm going to coin it and start selling it. So
And it worked.
and you can buy it right here somewhere along with the Sportz Truth podcast, right? Okay, so without further ado, let me get back out. Let me get some music for him so we can pull him up here. We got him. He's always commenting on this show. Oh, I can see him in the background. He is all hopping around, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we're about. Jordan, this is a kid-friendly show. Okay, okay, just reminding you there, buddy. Gabriel, your face is priceless right now. You're just like, what? What is he doing? Because Gabriel can't see him. Only I can see him. So, all right. So let me give him the proper intro. He is the New York Mets writer for www.welikesportsbc.com. He does all kinds of stuff, including always tuning into this show and commenting over and over and over again, whether we want him to or not. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Jordan!
I'm coming in like stone cold. I'm coming in hot. I'm coming in hard. And guess what? I'm bringing the steel chair and we're slamming faces together. Let's go.
All right, he says he's coming in hot like stone cold. Here we go. Maybe he's going to smash some glass and tell you what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
Not 3:16, but hey, it's close enough, right?
Exactly.
All
it's 5:20.
All right, buddy. We'll turn that off in the background. We'll get right to it. Jordan, how are you, sir?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, Mike. I'm feeling amazing right now. I get to see you.
Amazing.
I get to see my old pal Gabriel, who left me behind, like the prostitute he is. Even though I love you, man. I love you. But still, it's great to talk to you guys always.
All right. So I wish I'd have looked at that beforehand, Harrison, but I got it now. Okay. All right. So yes, we are live, and that's not the quote I was talking about. There's one off screen that I won't put up there. That he's giving me some advice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll stop it, and I'm sure a couple of you will figure out what it is as you're watching everything with us. So we are going to do NBA, we are going to do NFL, and then we're going to jump into MLB. And I can't wait for the last question of the day. And right now, Jordan looks like he's looking through a blind here. So, yeah. All right, there we go. That looks better. Okay. So, let's do our NBA 4-point play first. All right, 4 questions that have to do with the National Basketball Association. Here we go. Here's the first one. Gabriel, we'll start with you, and then we'll go down to Jordan. All right. Jordan looks like he's frozen or something there, so we'll get to Jordan here in just a second.
Camera's a little messed up. I'll make it.
Okay, no problem. I like that picture too, man. So look at that. Even when there's something wrong with this camera, he gives us a picture of him just so we don't forget what he looks like. Right there, there it is, right there. All right, yes, fantastic. So Gabriel, the final 4 teams are Oklahoma City, that's the number 1 seed. The Knicks, that are a number 3 seed. The Indiana Pacers, that are a number 4 seed. And the Minnesota Timberwolves, that are a number 6 seed. So, what do the seedings of the team say about the overall NBA game to you?
For me now, the seedings, it doesn't matter too much. Because the different teams will be at different areas depending on how their season unfolds. Are they chasing late? Whatever you may have. To me, you have to try to separate the facade or the mirage or the oasis. Am I allowed to say those 3 words, Michael?
Yes, those 3 are okay.
Okay,
You're good. Continue.
I wanted to make sure. But you have to kind of separate. You have to kind of separate what can be like a magician's trick of, all right, well, they're good right now, but come the postseason, they disappear. And so right now, I thought that the Nuggets would go further than what they did, but then they decided to fire their head coach, which doesn't help things. So I like the matchups that we have. But yeah, to answer your question, it means something, but it doesn't mean as much as it does compared to other sports, I would say.
All right, Jordan. So I'll bring the question down to you as you can unmute yourself. There you go, buddy. So, what do the seedings of the teams overall mean to you? And what I mean by that is we've only got one number 1 seed team left. So you got a number 1, you've got a number 3, you've got a number 4, and a number 6. What does that tell you as far as the NBA goes? And does the seedings mean a whole lot to you, Jordan?
Not really. Like Gabe's answer, and like what me and Gabe talked about like last season. Like it's all about matchups and stuff. Like it's literally like going to what your best strength is, especially during like the end of the regular season. Like at the end of the regular season, like Minnesota was getting hot to end their season, and like they carry that momentum to be a Lakers team. I legitimately thought was gonna go further than like what everyone thought that was gonna be, like further than I thought. And also like some teams choked. Like Houston was a young team that choked. The Lakers choked. Boston especially choked. Dear God. And the Bucks were a complete clown show. Like, what else am I gonna say? Like, and during the second round, Cleveland choked. Like even though Cleveland ended their season strong, like they got hurt at the wrong time, and like they got wrecked. They got pumped. They got pummeled. They got God knows what the hell happened to that series. Like, but yeah, scenes matter when you're up in the momentum. Like, if you're heading to the playoffs, play in hot, you're going to stay hot. Like, what else am I gonna say?
Okay, so I understand what you're saying there, and Gabriel, I'll go back to you for a second. Is it good or bad that a number 6 seed is in the NBA final?
Oh, I like it. It shows that.
And I misspoke. It's not the finals yet. It's the final 4. So you got a number 6 team left, right? 4 teams left, and one of them is a number 6 seed.
Yeah. We knew what you meant, Michael. For anyone who's at their keyboard, they're not in the finals yet. We knew what Michael meant.
Yeah. Calm down, people. Grandpa's just having misspelling.
Yes,
right. Calm down. Grandpa over here is
oh my goodness.
Don't worry, Mike. Not that old.
And by the way, this will be Jordan's last appearance on the show since he called me Grandpa. So that's okay. Go ahead.
That's horrible. No.
All right, Gabriel. So what do you think about having a 6th seed in that Final 4 of the NBA?
I like it because there are years definitely in the NBA. There are years like last year in baseball where we just know, all right, well, this is going to be a fun race for second place. I wonder who's going to win that. But we don't have that this year. The more years where we have something like this, then it's just better for our investment in the regular season and for, oh my goodness, Daniel. I just want to say Michael, Gabriel, Daniel. It's just better. I like it a lot.
All right. So, Jordan, what about you? Is it a good or a bad thing that you got a number
It's great.
6 seed in the last 4 teams in the NBA?
It's a great thing, especially a team that was in that position last season. Like people keep forgetting the Wolves were in the Western Conference Finals during the last playoff season. So like it's not really surprising. It's not really surprising at all. Like they're the veteran-led team. They like defensively they got everything in control. Like it's great to see. It's great to see.
All right. So I'll kind of ask you a reverse question, Jordan. I'll stick with you for a second. So is it good or bad that only one number 1 seed is in the final?
It's good. It's good because like sometimes it shows the best can choke. Like legit, like even though they're the best team, even the best could have days where like, oh god, it's bad. Oh god, it's bad. They got one bad run and like it all falls apart like a Jenga tower. Like
Okay.
we saw the Bucks collapse a couple of years ago against Miami, so it's not really surprising at this point. Like we just want some parity and like some surprises.
All right. So some parity, some surprises. I get that. Gabriel, what do you think about there being only one number 1 seed left in these final 4 teams?
Yeah, it does. It does show that the seeding does matter. I've never said that it doesn't matter. I just don't think it matters as much in the NBA. And so what it does show is, hey, you have to kind of take your time and evaluate each team as it is. Now, for me personally, I think the Thunder, they did well over the course of the regular season. They were able to manage some injuries that happened, for example. But I do think that this Timberwolves team, despite being the 6th team, I think that they'll show, and they're in a tight one right now here in game 1. I think that they'll show that they are the better team, and I think it will be them advancing to the final. But no one will be surprised if it is OKC, and it does show something that this young core was able to achieve the number 1 seed and has made it to that Western Conference final. So it does show something of being a number 1 seed.
All right, Gabriel, I tell you what, I'm going to give you an assignment right now here on the Sportz Truth with myself, Mike Valentine, the Complete Geek. Gabriel Babyface over there is with us at the top. And then we've got our special guest, Jordan Ramos, who we haven't given him a nickname yet because, we just haven't found a word that describes that yet. All right, so Gabriel, your assignment is every once in a while you got to chime in and tell us what the score of the NBA game is. That way, everybody who's watching us right
Wait. Up, out of bounds. It's still Thunder ball. Let's go.
Yeah, you got it.
Wherever that came from.
Because I actually watched the game right now. I'm watching it right now.
Okay.
It's 24-20, Minnesota. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, and SGA.
Gotcha. All right, Gabriel. So let's go back to the final question here. This first one. So, does this prove or disprove that the regular season in the NBA means nothing? As far as there's only one number 1 seed left, and there's the 6th seed there, and you don't have a number 2 seed. So what is this? A lot of people will say, I'm not watching the NBA until the playoffs. Does that kind of hold true? And is it holding true this year?
Oh, yeah. That's the big debate among fans, particularly among those who then ultimately do watch the NBA regular season. Those who say, like what you just said, we're gonna tune into the playoffs, and that's maybe even only in the later rounds. Listen, I get the argument. For me personally, I view the regular season as still hugely important in terms of how you start. Can you get some momentum going? How do you play? Can you navigate those injuries? And then a lot of this is a byproduct of injuries. Let's not forget as to why we have the current teams that we do have. So I think it still will matter, the regular season. And two, there are a lot of adjustments that go on throughout the course of an NBA regular season. So I do think it does matter still. But as you're saying here, when we do have moments like this, or when we do have Final Four teams like this, not college basketball, it does suggest that you're okay if you tune out of the regular season. I think you're missing something though. in terms of the overall NBA product.
All right. So, Jordan, same question. We'll go down to you and get a few second answer from you here. So, does this prove or disprove that the regular season in the NBA means nothing, Jordan?
Personally, for me, the regular season always means something. Like you get to see classic moments, like the Hornets versus the Spurs. Come on, man. We need those low. We need those low teams to tank for their support, to tank for a high draft pick. Come on, that's why the regular season's here. But also, you get to see like great, like solid games and like see like literally like a legit gauntlet. Like who's gonna survive to the dance? Like regular seasons always mean something to me. Like what else are we gonna do? In season tournament? Ugh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Okay, so to you, Jordan, I'm sorry, buddy. So to you, the regular season does mean something then, right?
Yeah. It's a legit gauntlet. Like who's going to survive?
Yeah, because you had the most expensive team in the NBA who did not survive, and the Phoenix Suns that are back here with me. So yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
like
so
we see,
had
like
to
we
throw
see
that
fear
out there,
collapse.
right?
Yeah, we see fears collapse. To see them drown and die out again, it's great to see. It's entertaining.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. You're 100% right. So we got to get to our profile here. We got to scroll down as I'm doing here real quick on our timeline. We got some stuff that we have put up there here recently for all of you to see. So our next thing here is our Twitter poll question as we get to our second topic here in the NBA Final 4-point play. And that is this. Which team is the biggest surprise not being in the Final Four? So which team's the biggest surprise not being in the Final Four? We've had 88 people look at this on our Twitter site, which is the 643 and Out Pod on X. And while we're doing that, Jordan, where can we find you at, sir, on X?
You can find me at JCMiles689 at Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. You can also find me on the Live. You can find me anywhere. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So the question is, which team is the biggest surprise not being in the Final Four of the NBA? And your choices are Boston, Cleveland, the LA Lakers, or the Houston Rockets. So I'm going to give it to you with our teams here. So the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Houston Rockets. I've got it up here. I can tell you what everybody said, and we'll do so here in just a moment. But first of all, Jordan, which one of those four teams would you pick, sir? Sorry, I caught you snagging a drink there as I was asking you the question. So
it's just water. Don't worry. I'm not going to drink during the job.
So which one of those four would you say is the biggest surprise, Jordan?
Cleveland. I literally thought they were going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They were at least a complete team with that bench. Everyone got hurt. Like I was just surprised how many injuries they got that everyone went down. Like what the hell happened against the Pacers? They looked complete against a Miami team that was a complete joke. And then they did that? Ugh, God, no. And I thought was if they're gonna lose, I thought it would be Darius Garland costing them the game where it's free throws. Shout out to you, Jabba Joe. Don't worry, Joe. We'll never forget. Never forget his parlay.
Okay. Gabriel, what about you, buddy? So the four teams you can choose from: Boston, Cleveland, the Lakers, and the Rockets. Which one do you think is the biggest surprise for not being in this Final Four of the NBA?
For me, you can't say the Cavs or the Celtics because, again, injuries. And they were pretty significant, and that's what happens. So if they're fully healthy, do one of those probably get in? I think so. For me, it's not the Lakers because, listen, I get the hype.
They have no center game.
It was a flawed team. It was a very, very much a flawed team with very big holes. And every team has holes. Every team has something that the other side can look to take advantage of. With the Lakers, those were just far more pronounced. I'm going to go with the Rockets. this was a team that could have won that Golden State series. They let a couple early ones slip away. And in general, I really like this Houston Rockets team. The way they can go at you with Green, with Sengun. I just think like this was something of a lost opportunity, and I would have liked them against OKC. And as we see, that I think they would have fared fairly well against Denver. We saw how that series kind of got away from them. So I think this year they could have really have done it, but credit to Golden State. They ended up getting it done, and Steph Curry did Steph Curry things in that series against Houston.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
I thought they were just too young.
All right, so before we reveal what the public said here off of our Twitter poll question again, which you can get at the 643 and out pod, I want to remind everybody who is listening to us live right at the moment, several people are, that you can do the comments. You can click on the comment button and you can leave your comments, as a couple of people already are as well. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all of you, and we appreciate all of you being a part of the show in these Twitter poll questions. So which NBA team is the biggest surprise not being in the final four teams here of this playoff system? We said Celtics, Cavaliers, Lakers, and Rockets. Gabriel, nobody agrees with you because no one voted for the Rockets. We got 25% Lakers, 25% Cavaliers, and 50% are voting for the Celtics right now. So, yeah, that's what our people think. So we'll defer to them for the time being, right? And maybe we are not as smart as we think we are. So let's get to question number 3 here, and it has to do with Jokic, right? So I take that back. Let's do the NBA finding somebody. We'll do Jokic here in just a second. Okay, so the NBA has fined Jalen Williams $25,000 for wearing a shirt that said a word that rhymes with duck, right? So it said, "Duck art, let's dance." Gabriel, do you agree with the fine? $25,000 for wearing a shirt that had a colorful language on it is what we'll call it.
Listen, I'm one of those where I'm more on the player side when it comes to fines, particularly in the NFL, for example, with hits. Like you're playing the game and you're going to get fined for playing the game of football with a football play. For something like this, though, Jalen Williams, he knew very much. He knew full well what wearing this shirt would, and it ultimately did end up costing him. In this case, quite literally, $25K. Listen, there's certain stuff that you could excuse and you could say, well, it's not really too much of a big deal. But if it's gonna, that if it's gonna have, profanity on this shirt right there, big bold letters, that's going to get the result that it ended up getting. You just know that. So, for this one specifically, I'm not too terribly upset about it.
All right. So, Jordan, what about you? Are you upset that they fined Jalen Williams $25,000 for wearing the shirt that he did in the press conference following the win in Game 7 against the Nuggets?
Fine doesn't matter. Try to back it up. That's all I gotta say. Back it up. You're gonna talk all that. You gotta at least back it up. You're down. You're down by at least by 7, and Jalen Williams has 4 points. So if they lose this series, my brother in Christ, you're wearing that shirt, and for the first 12 minutes, you only got like 4 points, four rebounds, and one field goal. You kidding me? You gotta back it up, man.
All right, so you're talking the stats for today's game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Tonight's game. Okay. Like, you gotta back it up.
Okay, got that. So Jordan, I'll stick with you and ask you the second question here. Do you? Because I don't think I do. I mean, I might, but if it's really the meaning that I think it is, that's like dumb. Why are you doing that for, right? So what is?
At least buy him dinner first. Come on.
I mean, do you understand the meaning of the shirt that he wore? Because I don't think I do.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't.
Just pray Ant don't dunk on you, man. Come on, just pray. He's just praying that Ant doesn't dunk on him. You know, like God, if Ant dunked on him, it'll be comedy gold, baby. It'll be gold.
All right, Gabriel. Do you understand the reference of the shirt? Because I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old and I don't get it, or something's happened here. But so it was. We'll say again. We'll use the word duck instead of the word that it really was. Right. So we'll say it said duck art. Let's dance. What is he saying?
Yeah, I think he wants Jordan to go out dancing. That's my best
What
guess.
it is?
Exactly. Let's dance, man. Let's dance. Come on.
I couldn't tell you. I could
Come
not
on,
tell
man.
you.
Let's dance.
I mean, if you're gonna wear a shirt, like you said, Gabriel, if you're gonna wear a shirt that you know is gonna get you fined, right? At least have it be a comical shirt. At least wear something where people are gonna laugh at it. They're gonna understand what it is and be like, okay, that was worth the $25K that you got fined. So he's getting fined $25K, and I don't even understand what the shirt was in reference to. I mean, that's like double bad, right? Okay. You've like doubled down on stupid. So
No, I'm with you.
I don't understand, but whatever. Let's go to Nikola Jokic. I think this is going to be interesting for all of us to kind of look at here as far as what Jokic said real fast. So he was asked by a reporter, quote, "Do you think the Nuggets can still win a championship with this core?" And to which he answered, "I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't." So, Gabriel, I'll start with you. Do you like his honesty? Or when he's asked, can we win with this core, should his answer just always be yes?
I mean, yikes. What kind of answer is that? It's basketball. So it's five. I don't know if you know this, Jordan, but it's 5-on-5. What you do is you have a chance if you have the best player in the world, or arguably the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic, and that's who he is. So I hate that answer for a multitude of reasons. In terms of answering you directly, yeah, I guess he's living in the moment, a moment of following the loss. Honesty, I guess I don't mind it, but yeah, I'd rather he says something, to the effect of, they got our number today, but this we can win with this core. We got to work in the off season, retool, that kind of, or that kind of thing. So I don't love it, Michael. I just don't.
All right, Jordan. So same question to you, and I'll remind you, they did go to a game 7, so it's not like they got blown out or they got swept or anything like that. So does that change your theory on what Nikola Jokic said when he said, "I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't"?
Well, if you watch that game 7, it was ugly as hell. It was not good. The entire team just died. Like Porter shot 3 for 8. He's probably looking at real estate in China right now. So that's fun. Aaron Gordon went 2 for 4. Jokic only got like 20 points, 5 for 9, 9-11. Like he was fine, but like he was a minus 23. Like they're thankful they won the champ. They won a championship with this core, but like, oh god, it's ugly. And the fact that they literally fired their head coach days before the playoffs just showed you that this team's in chaos right now. It's gonna be in hell. Like, I think Jokic answered the question like, "Thank God I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. I'll go back home to my horses. I love my horses." Like, it's just, God, it's gonna be bad in Denver soon. Like, this option is gonna be brutal to see.
All right, so I think you were pointing this part out, and I'm going to stick with you a second and ask you the second part of the question that I've got here, which is, do you think he was sending a message? Do you think Jokic is sending some kind of message like we need to blow this core up, Jordan? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Look at your free agents. Like, are you gonna bring back Russ? Are you gonna bring back DeAndre Jordan? Are you gonna bring back PJ Hall? What are you gonna do with Mike Porter Jr.? Like, are you gonna trade him? Like, they got a lot of questions in this offseason, and like I think like they might need to cut some dead weight. Like Porter Jr. is probably on his way out of here, so it's gonna be very interesting to see.
All right, Gabriel, what do you think about what Jordan said and cutting the dead weight? Do you think maybe that Denver's going to do some of that? They're going to change this, or you think they're going to try to stick with this core and bring it back and try to run it back?
I think that the move of firing Coach Malone indicates that they do not have faith in this core anymore, which is a little bit interesting to say because they did win it. They did win it not too long ago. But I think that they just view it as, all right, that was that championship window. We have this championship window. Jokic is still amazing. Again, I have him as the best player of the world. If you have SGA as the best player of the world, then I can't imagine you have Jokic too much lower than 2. So he's pretty good. I think that they're going to. I think we're going to see a significantly different look Denver Nuggets team next year here, Michael.
All right. So then what do you think about the sudden firing? Jordan mentioned it as well in his rebuttal a second ago, where they fired the coach just a few days before the finals took place. You think did it help them? Did it hurt them? Or what kind of signal did it send to the team and to the fan base?
As the Minnesota Timberwolves are up 40-36 right now in the Thunder as we are closing the first half here. It was very odd, very odd. I didn't understand it, and certainly I believe that it hurt them. Some people took a laugh out of, well, now Jokic is more of the coach. Now he's coaching too.
Power struggle, baby.
But right, it's not good. It's not good. You need to have a coach, particularly someone with Coach Malone's experience and pedigree. I'm not saying that they would have won it. Again, they did get it 2-7, but that was an ugly game 7. So I have to think that maybe earlier in this series, Mike Malone does something so that it doesn't need to get to a game 7 for Denver. That's just what I think potentially could have happened. Obviously, we don't know, and I may be giving Coach Malone too much of a benefit of the doubt, but to have that seismic shock of a move at that point of the season, I believe they were stepping. I believe they were in their Uber, right, at the airport, about to head off to the playoffs, and this happened. That's how I believe it happened. I don't know, Michael. I wasn't there, but right, it was that soon. It was that soon. So, listen, I guess if they go out and get someone, they win another championship here within the next 2-3 years, then they'll say they were vindicated, validated. If not, then wow, what a serious misstep.
Right. Okay. So Jordan, Gabriel has used the word ugly as far as describing the Nuggets in this playoff series. You used the word ugly earlier. How ugly was it, Jordan?
Oh, it was ugly. That game 7, dear Lord in heaven, it was bad. Like I think they were down like 20, 30 to end the first half. Like, legit, 26-21, Nuggets lead. Okay, they're down. Then OKC literally just destroyed them, like 39-20. Like, it was bad. It was terrible. Game 7, they just laid goose egg and they died. Like, Jokic just literally does not care. He's like, I'm gonna go back home. Go back to my horses. I love my horses. Like, it was terrible.
So give us the ugly one more time, Jordan. How ugly was it? Go ahead.
It was ugly.
It was ugly. All right. So we're going to look at who we think is going to have the better series here, okay? And Jordan, I'm going to stick with you for a second. I'm going to give you 2 people. You tell me who you think is going to have the better series. So Halliburton or Brunson? Who's going to have the better series?
Is this a serious question? Is this legit?
Well, it's not too serious because he just went away. So, Gabriel, I'll go with you for a second. So, Halliburton, I see you. I'll pull you back up here, Jordan. Give me just a second. So, Halliburton or Brunson? I know he was mouthing off, and then all of a sudden, boop, and I didn't even do anything. He did that to himself. So what do you think, Halliburton or Brunson, Gabriel?
Not too serious whatsoever. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Halliburton. He's someone who he had an awful start to the season. It was meme worthy. Right? He had the participation medal, as many would call it, from the Olympics. But he's really done well. He's turned it around, and it seems like he's the right kind of guy to lead this Pacers team. Jalen Brunson, what I'm worried about is all of those minutes adding up and it just being too much for him. And then Mikal Bridges late block, for example, not happening, or Carl Anthony Towns, vanishing act. So that's not a slight on Brunson. He's one of my favorite guards. I just think that Halliburton's going to end up being the guy that gets it done for his team.
All right, Jordan, are you going to agree or disagree with Gabriel?
No, Gabe, there's a man that put that's literally I think he's tied or leading in the playoff in points right now. You put that brother literally just literally crisscross applesauce, and he was Ivy to win against the Pistons. Literally put up 20 to 30 against Boston. In a like, you go with Jalen Brunson, you go with Villanova, and you go with the two in the paint, one in the stand. Come on, man. Like, Halliburton's fine, but like in a series in which when everyone's healthy, yeah, it's not going to be fun. It's going to get ugly.
Gabriel, I mean, crisscross applesauce, for God's
Exactly.
sake. I mean, you got to go with the other guy, okay? So Jordan, I'll give you a chance to go first on this one. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards? Which one will have the better series, sir?
Now that's a legit tough one. I might have to go with an Ant. Like he's just literally like him and Randall are literally carrying this team right now. It's just been great to see. Like SGA, like I'm slightly preferring Ant, but SGA's been an MVP candidate. He is a foul merchant, but a solid foul merchant. But I have to go with Ant because like he's just leading the team right now. Man's a beast.
All right. Gabriel, we're going to go with you. Ask you the same question. We got these two guys, and then I'll give you guys both a second to be thinking about it, because the last question that we're going to look at here in the NBA before we jump into the National Football League will be who's going to be in the finals. So we'll close out our NBA talk with that question here in just a moment. But for you, Gabriel, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, this is another good one. I think SGA is, and you can't fault him for this. I think he's on a very good overall team. He's obviously individually brilliant as well. Not saying he's not. I think Anthony Edwards is that guy though for Minnesota, and he's going to show it. I view that this Minnesota team kind of has embodied his personality more so, where OKC, it's like, okay, even without SGA, they're still pretty good. So if I'm going just one-on-one, that individual matchup, I would go Anthony Edwards.
Okay, so both of you are taking Anthony, but it's by a small margin. So then that leads me to the next question. And Jordan, you know what? I'm going to go back down to you. I'm going to give Gabe a rest here. I got to let him rest those things. We got to give you a second to take a swig of what you say is water in that container, which I ain't sure about right at the moment. But Jordan, what two teams will be in the NBA Finals?
Thunder. They're the complete team.
Okay, so Thunder.
I think that series might. I think Thunder might take it's going to be a 7-game series. Thunder.
Okay. So Thunder against who, Jordan?
New York, baby. Orange and blue skies. I'm seeing the orange and blue skies right now. We've beaten the defending champs. And we're facing against the Pacers team that's led by Halliburton, who's focused on snow bunnies, Naismith, Miles Turner, and Siakam. Oh, my goodness.
All right, so I will take the time to explain this to our all right, Jordan. So I'll take the time to explain this to all of our fans right at the moment. Gabriel and Jordan are friends, no matter what Gabriel says. And and they're both from New York, right? So you may get a little bit of homerism here out of one of them for every once in a while, but that's where we are right now, and that's why this last question here that I'll wrap up the show is going to be really interesting. We got 11 teams in New York, and my two New York guys are going to rank those 11 teams in a certain way. Well, we'll get to that here in just a little bit, but Gabriel, Jordan gave us his opinion. Who do you think is going to be in the NBA Finals as we wrap up our NBA talk before we get to NFL, where we talk about the Eagles and Nick Sirianni? We'll talk about Brock Purdy. We'll talk about some quarterbacks in some new homes. And we'll also talk about the new rules that the NFL committee is voting on right the moment as we get into that here in just a second. But Gabriel, who's going to be in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, that's not an omen of positivity, the orange and blue sky. That's the sign of the apocalypse, signifying the crashing down of the New York season. Indiana
Uh-oh.
Pacers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh.
Again, the jinx is real, people. Come on.
Jinx is real. Okay. All right. So here we go, guys. We are going to close shop on our NBA 4-point play, and we're going to go now to NFL 4-down territory. NFL 4-down territory is the spot where we ask 4 NFL questions. We have some follow-ups on each one of those questions. I referred to all of them earlier, and the first one is the Philadelphia Eagles have announced a multi-year extension with head coach Nick Sirianni. Gabriel, do you have a problem with the Eagles not releasing any specific criteria or details and just saying, yeah, we've signed him to an extension, but we're like going to try to keep it a secret as to how many years and how much money it is? Do you have a problem with that?
It's odd, right? It's not normal. I think what that means is that there's something in there for them to have an out. I understand that they just won the Super Bowl, but they know just as much as we do that more of that credit goes to, them having acquired Saquon Barkley versus anything brilliant that Coach Sirianni may or may not have done. That's me trying to read in between the tea leaves. Maybe I'll get tea on my nose. I don't know, but I think it's odd. I think it's not normal, Michael.
Yeah, I will certainly say it's not normal, but I'm not sure what it really means. Jordan, what do you think it means that the Eagles have said, yes, we have signed Nick Sirianni to a contract extension, but they're not telling us any other details about it? What does that say to you, Jordan?
Do you know the old decision joke that like you're here forever? That's basically what it is. Like if Sirianni cannot be a clown, like he's a douchebag, he's a clown. But if he wins some championship, he's here forever. That's basically it.
Okay, so then I think the two of you are kind of agreeing, actually, just kind of in a backward kind of way. Maybe they've got some kind of clause in there that if he does something stupid, right?
Yeah.
Which then we have the ability to oust him. Okay, all right.
Mm-hmm.
So he did get paid, Jordan. He did get this new contract. But I have a question here. As far as this past season goes, would you reward him more for the 14-3 regular season or for the Super Bowl victory? Which one do you think he should get rewarded more for?
Super Bowl. The dude nearly lost a couple of games in the regular season. The cook gone to a lower seed. It was the player that got him out. It was the coordinator that literally bailed him out. He's a clown. His offense is literally shotgun centric. Like he's a douche, but like they were rewarding for the Super Bowl. Like legit their second Super Bowl in last during this past since the last decade. Like yeah, they're rewarding for the Super Bowl. Like yeah,
so you think you should.
Like they being the Chiefs.
You think the Super Bowl was more important than the 14-3 regular season? Gabriel, what about you? The Super Bowl or the 14-3 regular season? Which I guess if you were paying him, which one would you pay him for?
Which one would I pay for? I would pay for the regular season because that's what sets you up to win multiple Super Bowls. That's how I view it. I understand a lot of people, they want to view through a narrow lens and say, well, such and such won this game during the Super Bowl, and that's fair, that's valid, that's the point of the sport. But if you want to have long-term success, if you want to be in a position to win the Super Bowl year in and year out, I would look at how they do in the regular season. That's just how I would base more of my proportion of that pie on.
Okay. I personally, I agree with you there. The 14-3 regular season, as I think Jordan's having a little bit of complications on his end there, but we'll get him back up here shortly. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to ask you this, and we'll pull Jordan back up here in just a minute. But Andy Reid never won a Super Bowl in Philly. Does that mean Nick Sirianni has been a better Philly coach than Andy Reid because he does have a Super Bowl and Andy Reid doesn't?
Well, right, exactly. That's now some people are going to automatically say yes and just say ring. You're right, he has a ring. I mean, Andy Reid was very good. Was very good in Philly. All right, those Donovan McNabb led teams, they were, you know, they were up there. They were up there, and there's a reason why Kansas City then ended up going with Andy Reid because of what he did, because of what Coach Reid did in Philadelphia. So to just if you have to be able to separate coaching and evaluate how a coach did and be able to sometimes separate that from the result. Everyone wants the results, but what about the process that got you there? So I still think Coach Reid was a better Philadelphia Eagles coach who's going to go down now more storied and more accolades and whatever you may have. Obviously, Coach Sirianni, but that doesn't take a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to kind of figure that out. I understand one is greater than zero. At least I believe so.
Right? One is greater than zero. So, one brain cell that Gabriel have is better than the zero that Jordan has at the bottom, as he's pointing to the ring on his finger that he doesn't have, right? So what do you think, Jordan?
Exactly.
I'll give you a chance here.
I have one.
Back on the line
I have
with
at
us.
least. At least I have one. I have one living brain cell in somewhere. But yeah, they care. Philly fans care about the ring. They do not care about the ass three. They still hate Donovan McNabb to this day, man. Like they just mostly care about the rings. But yeah, I agree with you. But like, Reid was the better Philly coach. But like, during the moments where like they're at their peak, they choked. Like remember the Super Bowl against the Patriots? Not a good time. Like they just want they want the rings more than like in the championship results. Like history wise, Reid is the better Philly coach. Like it's unspoken of. It's true. Like Nick Sirianni had 10-1 and fell apart. Like, but I do think that like Philly fans in general want the results. Like they'll say Sirianni is the better Philly coach, which is like true, but also like you gotta look who built you up in the first place. It's Andy Reid. You wouldn't be like you'll still be known as Joker, but at least you're in a much better position with Andy Reid than like who the hell before or after. Like we're Brian, no, not what like a coach Kelly, yeah. You don't want to go back that. You won't go back those days. Nah.
Okay. All right.
It's like saying Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, he was a great Philly coach. One ring. That's it.
All right, copy. So the ring means more to you. Understood.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to Brock Purdy here, and then we're also going to look at quarterbacks that will be better off in their new homes. And you can go to our Twitter right now at the 643 and out pod, and you can vote on that Twitter poll question. I put it up just minutes before we went on the air, so you can go over to that spot and have the ability to do so. Gabriel, tell us where we can find you at, since we've already talked about where we can get Jordan at. How about yourself on X? Where can we get you at, and what can we expect from you, sir?
I'm at Sports Pulse 100, and what can you expect from me? not too hell of a lot at the moment, and that's fine, as the Timberwolves are up 4 at the half.
And yes, people that don't have any brain cells know what other people are like without brain cells. So yes,
Exactly.
I was talking about brain cells. All right. So let's get to Brock Purdy here for a second, right? The 49ers and Brock Purdy agreed to a 5-year extension worth $265 million, a total guarantee of $181 million of that 265. So then Purdy is also going to be with San Francisco up until the 2030 season. And gentlemen, I got 3 questions about this team, this man, and this contract. And here is the first. Who won the most here, Jordan? The 49ers or Brock Purdy? So who won this signing?
Brock Purdy's assistant QB, but guess what? Mr.
Jordan doesn't know
Irrelevant
his
got
name.
paid. Let's go. Oh my God. Brock Purdy. It's easily Brock Purdy. His wallet won. Like his agent, they won more. Like he's a fine QB. He's athletic, but like the Niners should put themselves to the cap hell. Like they cut a lot of their fat, but like, what the hell is this team going to be like if you don't have the weapons around it? Like, it's just confused. It's confusing as hell. But like, at least they kept the franchise QB. At least they kept the system QB for at least another 4 years until like he might get her again. Then like, yeah, like it's easy. Purdy won. Like,
All right. So
you have Kittle. You have the wide receiver that got shot. Like you have Ayuk who got hurt during the last season. Like it's just ugly. It's just ugly for the Niners right now. But yeah, Purdy won easily.
okay. So Jordan thinks Purdy easily won. Gabriel, do you agree or disagree, buddy?
Yeah, if you go from the last pick to now, you get 5 years, 200 mil plus. I'm gonna go ahead and say that you're doing okay in life. I think you did quite well for yourself. Not an overall terrible situation. I understand that 181 of it is guaranteed, but we all know what can happen if the team needs to. They can finagle around. That's a fancy word for, make adjustments. The other the other
You're close. You're close on 8 words, man. I'll let finagle go on. I don't know. Is it finagle or finagle? If you can answer me that, then I'll let you go ahead. Finagle,
Finagle. Finagle.
finagle.
Flamingo.
It should be finagle, I believe.
Okay. All right.
But people will then say finagle. But where was I? Oh, right. I'm not too worried about the 49ers because, like I said, they there's always a way kind of out of contracts and or to push money out to the side or around or whatever you may have. And they have Curtis Rourke, who I viewed as a very excellent fit for what Coach Shanahan does over there in San Fran. He's the exact kind of guy for if God forbid, bless you, that there is an injury, for example, to Purdy. He's the exact kind of guy that you'd want to run this offense. So the 49ers are going to be fine. They might have to, maneuver. There we go. They might have to maneuver a little bit more tightly, but they'll be fine, Michael. They'll be just fine.
And I like maneuver, I think, a little more than finagle. Right?
Yeah.
It sounds a little better.
No,
right?
Gabe. It's either Brock Purdy, Matt Jones, or Curtis Rourke. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not Jones. Goodness, no.
Yes.
So
Win a
Brock
Super
Purdy
Bowl,
went
Mac.
from $934,000 per year to $53 million a year. Is that really a win for the 49ers to go from a guy that's making $934,000 and then pay him $53 million a year for 4 years? Can you justify that in any way, shape, or form? I'll start with Jordan. Can you justify a bump that big in someone's salary and still say it's a win for the team?
If they win a Super Bowl, it's justifiable. But is
that the only way it's justifiable is if they win a Super Bowl?
Yes. In my personal opinion, yes. Because, if they don't win this is literally their all-in push. if they don't win, like they're stuck in cap hell. They have to pay a lot. They have to pay a lot of players the money. Like Trent Millen doesn't have a lot in the gas tank left. Like their offensive line needs work. Like they need help. Like does Kittle still have something left in the tank? Like Christian McCaffrey, like his injuries, it's getting up there. Like what else do they need to do? Like they're hoping and praying to God that Purdy at least like help take them to the promised land, because like if not, then like they're cooked.
Okay. So once again, Jordan thinks they're cooked. If they don't win the Super Bowl, we can go over to @D643 and OutPod. You can vote on our Twitter poll question that we are going to answer next. And Gabriel, I'll ask you. So he goes from $934,000 a year to $53 million a year. Can you spend that to where the San Francisco 49ers have actually won this signing?
I'm going to not react maybe as strongly as others would to this. The issue is that he was on that rookie deal, and you had a lot more leeway to spend money elsewhere, and obviously you couldn't get the job done during that time.
Right.
But if you look at his contract compared to other quarterbacks, in terms of starters, it's around the halfway point for how much of the salary cap he's eating up now. So it's not a doomed scenario. It's not like, oh my goodness, it's now Brock Purdy versus everyone else. So they're still fine. They still have weapons. And I really like Coach Shanahan, particularly from an X's and O's standpoint. I don't think anyone can question that. So the 49ers are going to be fine, but it is something of a lost chance because they were paying someone, what was it? It was $5 per game, I believe, Michael. So now you don't have that opportunity anymore.
Right. 100%. So Jordan, Gabriel, I'm going to stick with you for a second. So Purdy has won 23 of 36 games he has started. He has 4-2 in his 6 playoff games. So looking at those two stats alone, right? Those are the wins. So my question to you is, simply winning enough to get you paid in the NFL?
I mean, I to an extent, obviously, yes, I would say. I think though this is a case of, I'm gonna try to walk a fine line here. So
Okay.
he's not good enough to warrant top dollar, and that's what this contract shows. But it's the way that he plays the position. Coach Shanahan likes it when his quarterbacks stay on script and can execute. So in terms of that, he provides a different type of value that he wouldn't in, say, a Green Bay system, that he wouldn't certainly in, say, a Dallas system. Oh, goodness gracious. Right? That in Arlington, it'd be a disaster. It'd be a disaster class. But here in San Fran with Coach Shanahan, the two are kind of they have a nice marriage here. So I'm okay with the contract amount. I'm glad that he's got it. Now the 49ers front office is just forced to be a little more creative to continue to give Brock Purdy also the help, because if we're being honest, Brock Purdy also had a major talent advantage at some of the other areas, particularly before last season, which was the year that was riddled with injury.
All right. So, Jordan, I think what Gabriel's saying is that Brock Purdy needs to give his coach about half of his contract money per season, because it's the X's and O's that their coach provides that allows Brock Purdy to be successful. Would you say that's true, Jordan?
Not. Well, he needs to give him half a salary because like half the team's not healthy. He's literally telling team doctors, hey, perform some voodoo magic. We need to get some voodoo. We need to get some magic. We need to get some good fives in here because the team hasn't been fully healthy. Like you just hope for help. But yeah, Kyle's literally asking Brock, like, come on, Kyle, come on, Brock, give me some of that money, man. we're going to do this for you. We're going to give you a real offensive line. We're going to give you an offensive tackle. We're going to give you all this stuff. But please, come on, man. Please, give me some of that money. Give me some of my money.
All right, give me some of my money, says Jordan. Now, what I'm going to
Exactly.
say is we got our second poll question of the day, and it is already up on our X spot, which is at the 643 and Out Pod. You can go over there and vote real quick before we give the results. Which quarterback in his new home will have the most success? And of course, we got to put a New York flair into this one. Is it going to be Sam Darnold in Seattle? Is it going to be Geno Smith in Vegas? Or is it going to be Justin Fields with the New York Giants? Those are your three choices. I'll put those three choices up here for our gentlemen to debate real quick. Jordan, I'm going to start with you, and I'm going to give you those three choices again. You tell me which one of these three quarterbacks you think will have the most success in the upcoming season. Will it be Sam Darnold with the Seattle Seahawks? Will it be Geno Smith with the Las Vegas Raiders? Or will it be Justin Fields in the gangrene New York Giants? Which one, Jordan?
You're a veteran quarterback. That's where a roster has Cooper Kupp, JSN, and their offensive line is improving. Or the QB that's in Vegas, that's in a clown show on its own with Pete Carroll and the old people committee, with Tom Brady running the show, or Justin Field or someone in the Jets. You gotta go with Sam Darnold.
All right, so Jordan's going with Sam Darnold. Gabriel, who are you going to go with, buddy? And you're going to go with Sam Darnold in Seattle, Geno Smith in Vegas, or Justin Fields in New York?
Sam Darnold's going to be seeing ghosts again. Give me now the man who is in a great position. And why do I say he's in a great position? I have two words for you, fine gentlemen. Pete Carroll. I understand that he's a little older. He I don't know how old he is actually, but either way, he acts and conducts himself like he's in his 30s, just full of energy,
He's 73,
participating.
You're trusting the 73-year-old with. I need to see we need to see the Raiders' offensive coordinator. We need to see their offensive coordinator because.
So Jordan has given us the information. He's 73 years old. Gabriel, go ahead, buddy. What else? So where do you think that quarterback is going to have the most success? Which team?
Oh yeah, with the Vegas Raiders. Like that, I really like what they're starting to do there on the onset. Does it result in a playoff win? Probably not. I mean, they're in a very tough division. Let's not forget that. But I think that they have enough pieces where they can make a little bit more of a jump compared to Sam Darnold and compared to where Justin Fields is at. I don't like it. So give me Geno Smith.
All right.
Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, Gabe. Have fun.
Okay, buddy. So Ant-Man is trending on X, I see. There must be something going on in that game. But before we get to that, Sam Darnold is winning our poll right now as far as the people go. In fact, he is getting 100% of our vote on everything right at the moment. Now, not a whole lot of people have voted yet because we haven't had the question up there. It's been less than an hour. So, but right at the moment, the overwhelming majority are saying that Sam Darnold will be the best and he will prevail there in Seattle. You guys, all of you that are listening to us right the moment live, can go over and vote at the 643 and Out Pod as well. Last question here for the NFL before we jump into MLB, which should be a fun topic here as we talk about a lot of New York with both my New York guys. We'll talk about the Orioles a little bit. We'll talk about Mets, Cubs, Dodgers, Juan Soto, the future third baseman for the New York Mets. And then I can't wait till the end when we talk about the New York teams as a whole. We'll get to all of that here in just a moment. These new seeding rules, Gabriel, the NFL is looking at new seeding rules for the postseason, which would have teams seeded strictly by their records. Is the current format broken? And depending on how you answer that, yes or no, I'll ask you, should we fix something that's not broken?
If it ain't broke, don't. No, I'm kidding.
Right, no, I'm in that boat 100%, man. So,
I
what
didn't
do you think?
realize
Is
that.
it broken?
I didn't realize. I view it. I view one aspect as broken. Yes.
Okay, what's that?
I don't think that a team that wins their division should automatically host the playoff game. I'm very much fine for winning the division, meaning that you get a playoff berth. I'm very much fine with that. The divisions can still and should mean something.
Okay.
I just think it's ridiculous in those instances where we have a 7-9 team, where it's them that get rewarded with hosting. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, particularly in some divisions where you get 2 or 3 double-digit winners. I view like what they can do is kind of what it sounds like you're saying, kind of an amended system. So you keep the division aspect as is, but just move the hosting in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4 within the conference seating. That's the only change I would make. Other than that, I think leave it as is.
All right. So, Jordan, is the seating in the National Football League once we get to the playoffs, is it broken and should we fix it?
Win the games, then you can stop complaining.
Well, that was a pretty simple explanation, right? Win the
Win
games and then
the games.
win the
If
games, he says.
Like, legit, I keep hearing this. Well, the top, the team with the best record should host the game, will host the playoff game. Okay, Lions Vikings. It was win be the top seed or go to the wild card. They both lost in the playoffs. Vikings got embarrassed against the Rams. Lions. Everyone got hurt. They got embarrassed by Washington. Like, legit. Like, it's fine as it is. The thing that pisses me off is like, oh my goodness, a 7-9 team can host a playoff game. Oh my god! The last 7-9 playoff team that won won the division, 7-9 Seahawks. They beat the reigning Super Bowl winning Saints.
Okay.
That was back in 2010, 2011. So
all right.
Anyone that complains about that, have fun. Yeah, that's a little fact. Have fun.
There you go. Jordan bringing us the stats and the facts. I appreciate that, buddy. So what advantage would NFL teams or fans gain from this new format? And as you talk about the fans and the teams, I'll look at it from an owner's perspective in just a second. But Jordan, do you think the fans or the teams are going to gain anything from the way they want to restructure this format?
Fans gain nothing. The team with the best record. Oh my goodness, we get to host this playoff game. Yay! And they get revenue from that. That's good. But also, like, they also get a chance to get embarrassed. So there's that. The teams, okay, all their philosophy, like, okay, we need to win. It shows that they need to win the games. Like, just win the games. Win against your division rivals, and you'll roll to playoff game. That's simple as that.
All right, so that is pretty simple. Gabriel, what do you think? The teams or the fans, do they gain anything from the way? And I shouldn't say that they have restructured this. They're just looking at it, and they're going to vote on it probably tomorrow. Like today, they voted that if you wanted to do the flag football in the Olympics this year, the NFL has said that any of those players can do that now. So that's what they voted on and passed today. I believe tomorrow they're going to look at this particular rule that we're talking about now, and then they're going to, they want to get the most publicity out of this whole tush push thing, which I'm really tired of talking about and tired of seeing. And we're not even going to touch it because everybody else is. And why talk about the same thing that everybody else is talking about? So we're going to go with the seedings and how they're looking at it. So, Gabriel, in a long explanation that I've set you up for here, I see, man, you look like you are really concentrating and thinking there, buddy. So I'll give you the question here, which is, what advantage would NFL teams or NFL fans gain from this new format, if any?
I didn't realize it was that noticeable when I start thinking, so maybe I need to.
Well, it doesn't happen very often, sir, so it's
Right.
noticeable when it does.
I need to maybe reevaluate some aspects in my life. But anyway, yeah, Yeah, so I kind of said what I view would be the best path forward.
Right.
I don't love the changes that they're saying in terms of having it strictly be based on seeding and then also reseeding after the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't like that at all. Like I only have one tweak for me, and it's about where to play the games, you know, not in terms of anything else. So I think that this is an overreaction to like what Jordan said, those fan bases that were put out by how the playoff picture ended up shaking up for them. I think now this is just they're going too much in the other direction. And how does it affect it? It takes away from the tradition, certainly. It takes away from how playoffs have been. And so therefore we now in reality then you have to start analyzing the playoffs differently, and it tells a completely different story of how everything breaks down. I don't think that there's enough gained here for me to be happy about this. So that probably means that it'll go through.
All right. We certainly appreciate everyone jumping on board with us. Our numbers do keep climbing, as they usually do, as we keep going on with our segments here. And we appreciate all of you. Once again, I'll remind you that you can click on the comment button and you can leave your comments. And as long as you're talking about what we're talking about, we'll include you in our conversation. So both of you, I want you to look at this, and I want you to remember something here when it comes to an owner's standpoint, because I think this makes a difference, and I think this is actually why that they're looking at this right at the moment. And that's this: when Major League Baseball gets to the World Series is played in each of those two teams' parks. When you get to the, like right now, when you get to the NBA Finals, like we're getting ready to do, you're going to play games at that NBA, at that NBA house, right? You're going to get to make a ton of money off of that and basically charge whatever the heck you want for tickets because people are going to pay for it. You know they are. But in the NFL, it's not that way. The Super Bowl is not in anybody's, it has nothing to do with the winners or the losers. It's predetermined, years ahead of time. So let's say the New England Patriots, right? They win and they get to the Super Bowl, but yet they have to travel to Arizona to play the Super Bowl, and they get no money really whatsoever out of that. So these owners were saying, hey, if we can win our division, we deserve to host a playoff game so that we can make money. Because if you think about it and you look at it, as far as attendance goes, that's the only way that they're going to make any extra money off of a playoff push. And you and I both know that in order usually to do the playoff push, you've got to put some money into your team. You got to make a few trades. You got to be willing to get right up next to that salary cap. And then all of a sudden, you don't get to reap the rewards of it. So I think it's a little different for football. And I just wanted to throw that out there. So I'm going to ask you, each of you, a pretty quick yes or no type question on this and see what you guys think. So in order for anything to pass, when they're voting on these things, there's 32 teams, and you've got to have 75% of the vote. So you need 24 of the 32 teams. Jordan, I'll start with you. Just give me a yes or no real quick, buddy, and then we'll go on to Major League Baseball. Do you think that this resolution will pass by getting 24 of the 32 teams needed to change this format when it comes to the playoffs? Yes or no?
No. Those owners want them. Owners are greedy more. They'll like some of them will weasel their way out of it. Like they'll probably say no. Okay. They won't pass. So, owners are idiots.
All right, Jordan is going to go with no. Gabriel, what do you think in that nice Veterans Day hat there, buddy?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done. Sorry. Yay, I think they will.
Okay. So one saying yes and one saying no. Now we're going to jump to Major League Baseball, or MLB 4-pitch talk. We got 4 questions about Major League Baseball, and then at the end, we're going to do a New York-based question since both of our people to co-host, Gabriel, is with us here. He has been here for quite some time, so he is there. And then we have our special guest, Jordan Ramos, who is also a New Yorker. So we're going to do a New York-based question to end the show. Here we go. Here's our first one. In 47 games for the Mets, Juan Soto has a slash line of 246, 379, 443. And his career slash line is 288, 419, 528, which is a lot more than what he's doing right now. So I'm going to start with Jordan for a second since it's his Mets, right? Jordan, is Soto unhappy in Queens?
Relax. I'm gonna do what Aaron Rodgers did back in the day. Relax.
Okay. Relax.
It's 47 games. It was 162 games. Calm down. Like he'll probably have like 252, 26 home, 26, 28 home runs, like around 8 and 9 RBIs. Like, like I saw this with Lindor. I was too young for Beltran, but like we saw it with Beltran. Like they'll be fine. It's 1 year out of a 15-year contract. Like if he somehow wins one ring during that contract, it's shut the foul ball. He's literally like the young Ted Williams up our generation. He's in his prime. Calm down, relax, everyone. Calm down. Like he's fine. He's fine in Queens. Like he's literally talking to the bullpen pitchers during game, like during the games. Like he's loving it. Like he's loving it. Like, but it's mostly like like some people will say like, oh, the price of the contract is like yes, but also like, what else is what else is like everyone else around him is struggling. Like you look at those last 3 games, you see like the Lions are struggling right now. So yeah, like it happens. Those struggles happen. It's life.
Okay, so Jordan's second question: do you think Soto is unhappy in Queens?
He's happy. He's fine with it. Like you have 800. You're going to have like $800 million. He's fine.
Okay, Gabriel, I'm going to ask you. What do you think, buddy? Is Juan Soto happy or unhappy in Queens?
I think he's happy enough. It's hard to frown when you get paid that kind of contract. I don't see too many. I don't see too many ball players upset about that. It's maybe not the way they would have wanted it to start off, but this is the Mets are known for having their story slump right around now. Anyway, we might be a little ahead of schedule in terms of when it came, but they usually have this, somewhere around June. So it's fine. And that being said, too, they're 29-20. So I understand that he's not producing individually the way he would want to, but it's a long season ahead. I guess to paraphrase the good Jordan, they're fine, and they're only a game back of the Phillies, so I don't think there's the reason to overreact too much.
All right, so I need one of you to help me out here and tell me. So the Boston Red Sox are currently playing the New York Mets.
The game was over.
The game is over.
Yeah, 29-20. The Red Sox are mediocre. They're mid. What else you want me to say? What else you want me to say about them?
Well, I
25-25. Let's go.
I didn't say your name yet, so calm down. Take a pill. All right. So the Mets and the Red Sox are playing, right? So Gabriel, who is the game over?
It is.
Who won the game, Gabriel?
Probably one of the most storied franchises in all of baseball. The Red Sox won 2-0.
Oh, so what about yesterday's game? Who won yesterday's game, Gabriel?
Once again, probably one of the most storied franchises in all of baseball, 4-2.
Okay, so then they played twice. And how many, Jordan? How many games have the Mets won against the Red Sox so far in the 2 games they played each other? I'm sorry. How many games have the mediocre Boston Red Sox won since they played each other? Go ahead.
They won 2 out of 3.
The what?
They won 2 out of 3.
They haven't played the 3rd game yet.
Yeah, they won 2 out of 3. They won 2 out of 3. They're gonna play tomorrow.
Okay, so they've won 2 out of 2 right at the moment.
Yeah, 2 out of 2.
Okay. So you're already saying that the Mets are going to win tomorrow.
Who knows?
They're going to salvage the game.
That's the thing.
right? They're going to salvage a game against this what you called a mediocre team. So when the mediocre team beats your team, what does that make your team? Just ask it, just for a friend.
Fine.
Okay, it makes them fine. Oh man, I'm just having.
They're 8 games over 500. That's the thing. Like,
okay.
Like
in the segment we were talking about earlier, right? So all right, your team might win your division, but they don't deserve to host the playoffs, right? I mean, is that going to be the Mets? Are they going to win that division, but yet not deserve to host any of the games?
Exactly. They need to win the games. Win against your division rivals. Win the games.
So let's talk about Juan Soto real quick in this contract, right? I believe, and you said something earlier, Jordan, that I would really disagree with, and he's scared of me right now because we're cracking on his Mets team, and so he just runs away and hides. See, so you said that if Juan Soto wins one ring in the 15-year contract, that it justifies it. And you, sir, are insane if that's really what you think. If the Mets pay $765 million for one World Series ring, that's a really expensive World Series. Gabriel,
Exactly.
what do you think? So let me ask you this way. Gabriel, I'll start with you because I want to make Jordan wait, right? So
Sure.
can Juan Soto ever live up to 15 years, $765 million?
No one. We've had this type of conversation before. Anyone who has these astronomical contracts, they tend to just not live up to it whatsoever. It tends to be a disaster, particularly toward the end, where it's like, we're paying how much for this? Why? And so can he live up to that? No. Now, can he bring success to the Mets? That's a question that we can see, and in the form of that being a ring. And right now we're having a conversation of, hey, the Mets aren't really clicking. The Mets this, the Mets that, and the Mets that, and they're still one of the better teams right now in terms of win-loss record. So they could end up, as my voice cracks, they could end up winning that ring, and they could maybe be in a position around the position to make a run for a couple of years to come. But when we're looking at this contract length, there's no way that he'll be able to live up to 50 years and 700 million plus. No way.
Yeah, 765 million.
Yikes.
Yeah,
it's going to round to 800 million. It's going to round to 800 million if he opts out in year 5.
Right. See, so, Jordan just couldn't wait any longer. He just had to call. Couldn't wait any longer. So Jordan, can he ever live up to this contract?
If he just wins one ring, I will literally say he lived up to that contract. If he begins struggling around year 3 or 4, one ring, and I'm like, he's lived up to this contract. He brought me a ring. He may be pissing his pants right now, but guess what? He got one ring. And legit, he's 26. I'm 26. Like we're both in the same age. They literally signed him in the prime of his career. And if he's struggling around year in 30, they'll probably put him in DH.
Okay,
so he can hit. They brought him for his back.
All right, they signed him in the prime of his career, and I'll certainly give him that. But they signed him to 15 years, and he will not be in the prime of his career for the last 5 years of that contract, at least. So I get it if you want to sign somebody at the prime of their the peak of their sports, whatever you want to call that there, at the peak of their athletic ability. But when you do that, you sign them to a 4 or 6 year contract, not a 15-year contract. So you just want one ring, right, Jordan? That's all you want?
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree. But also one ring. That's in my lifetime. One ring. I'm like, that's it. That's it. Just bring me one ring, and I will literally go up to the depths of hell just to be like, he got one ring, one. That's it.
So did you watch the games this weekend, Jordan?
Oh yeah. like if you want to talk about like, oh my goodness, he's not hustling. Oh my god, I'm like, yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. But the entire team play like dog water.
Okay, but that's your leader, right? The guy that's making $700 million. He is your leader. If he's not hustling, why isn't anybody else going to hustle?
Leaders. So they're asking Juan Soto to help lead the team. It's Lindor.
No.
Lindor's literally struggling right now. He's the captain of that team. He's literally, and he literally didn't even get a hit. Didn't get a hit to get a hit in the Subway Series. Like that's your leader struggling. That's one at least your leader struggling. If you see him struggle, then like the whole team's gonna struggle.
Now the guy I'm paying $700 million better hustle every play, every minute of every game. And if he doesn't, you want to make a statement. See, now I don't think managers can really do a whole lot as far as on a baseball team. But you want to make a statement when Juan Soto watches the ball hit off the green monster because he thinks he has a home run over the green monster. Walk out there to first base and put a pinch runner in for him. That'll make a statement. But nobody has the guts to do it.
No, I agree with that.
All right, I don't want to get on my soapbox too much because we're really early into this Mets thing here. So, you know what, Jordan? I'll stick with you and ask you this: Should Juan Soto have picked the Yankees instead of the Mets?
No, he picked the Mets over the Yankees. Guess what? Who cares? I do not care. I do not care. Yankee fans can cry about all day. Guess what? He picked your little brother. Guess what? Get over it. That happened.
You were smart enough to say the little brother, right? Because after the Subway Series, we know who runs New York, and it's not the Mets, right?
It's one series.
It's one series, yeah, but it was a dominant series. They swept.
It wasn't a dominant series, so. Game 3 was dominant. Game 1 was just us messing up and McGill's losing control. Game 2, it was a close game. It was a close game where like anything could happen. Game 3, it was close to the wire, but everything fell apart. That happens.
Okay, it shouldn't happen. I don't know if it should happen in New York, right? That's where the pressure cooker is. So I think kind of what your Mets are telling me is they can beat the subpar teams. They can beat the mediocre teams, as you called Boston earlier, who's beaten them twice, by the way, just so we pound that in. But they can't beat the upper echelon teams. Is that what your Mets are telling us right now?
No, they beat the upper echelon team. That's the thing. They beat the Diamondbacks. They literally split the entire series with the Diamondbacks. They swept the Phillies. Like they could beat the upper echelon teams. It's just that they can't hit regarding the scoring positions.
Okay. So, Gabriel, what do you think? Do you think Juan Soto would have been smarter to choose the Yankees over the Mets?
I like that he went to the Mets. We don't need to. Pardon me. We didn't need to have it be kind of the assumed, and as we're seeing out in the National League, that's not happening anyway. But we didn't need it to be assumed that we're just going to get Yankees Dodgers for the next 40 years. We didn't need that for baseball. I do like that he's going to the Mets. And last year's Mets, that was a fun team. And I'm not saying that the money didn't play a part of it. That probably played the vast majority part of why Juan Soto ended up going to the Mets. But I also think another aspect of it for him was, hey, this is a Mets team. They have something good going. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of it, and kind of turn around the narrative there of New York baseball, and help bring the Mets up toward the level of the Yankees. So I overall like it, and again, you're not going to be frowning too much with that paycheck, Michael. I don't think.
Okay. So you brought up some teams. You brought up the Mets, and you brought up Jordan brought up the Phillies. So let's just do this. You also brought up the Dodgers. Gabriel, I'll start with you. Who's the best team in the National League? And this will be our poll question tomorrow, by the way. It'll be up on at the 643 and Out pod for a poll question for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So, for those of you who can't join us live, but you'll watch it on a tape delay or something like that, then you'll be able to vote on this particular poll question. And here it is. Who's the best team in the National League? Your four choices are Phillies, Mets, Cubs, and Dodgers. So before we answer this, there were some other teams in the National League who could have been in this spot, right? The National League West is just full of good teams right now, and all of them but one are over 500. So there could have been some other teams that I could have put in this, but these were the four teams that I chose. And if you think these were one of these teams was wrong, when that poll question goes up on at the 643 and Out pod tomorrow, you can certainly leave a comment and tell me what team you thought should have been in it and which one of the four teams that I put in should not have been in. But I'm going to go with Phillies, Mets, Cubs, and Dodgers. Gabriel, who's the best team in the National League of those four?
For me, it's the Cubs. I like what they're doing a lot. And more importantly, I like that I can sit here and credibly say a team that isn't the Dodgers. But kidding aside, I think the Cubs are, they're really impressing so far this year. And I think they have the ability to keep this up through the end of the regular season up to the postseason.
All right, so there's the question there on the screen with us. Who is the best team in the National League? Jordan, I will give you the ability to answer this as well. Let me give you the four teams that you can choose from on the poll question. That will be at the 643 and Out pod tomorrow. Those four teams are the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, and the Dodgers. Jordan, who's the best team in the National League?
Dodger Blue. Even though they're 4-6 right now, they have a roster that can legitimately have a 10-game winning streak. They're that built. They're built different. Their entire team structure is something that a lot of people are just jealous of how they made it. It's just when they go off, they go off. They're hitting. Their lineup is supreme. Their defense solid. Even though they have some pitching woes, Yamamoto's a beast. And somehow they find ways to get different stars out there and have them get good games. It's for me, if you want me to put them in a list, is Dodgers, Mets, Cubs. I think the Cubs are much better than last year. Ugh, God, the Cubs were just mad. The Cubs offense, they're just a much better team right now. Phillies, they're just being up on the bad teams, and I just don't like their roster construction. But they're still a solid team. I have to give them that. They're still a good team.
All right.
But it's Dodger Blue.
Here's an interesting stat that I'll throw out there that is on our Twitter right at the moment. Again, that is at the 643 and Out pod. I think I've said that enough in this show today. So I'm sure all of you know where to go to find all of our breaking news and the stories that we publish on www.weLikeSportsPC.com. Gabriel writes for us as well as does Jordan. So both of these guys write for us. We certainly appreciate your contributions to that. Here are the days since the teams in Major League Baseball have hit a grand slam. Seattle hit one yesterday, so theirs is only one. Boston and New York Yankees are two because they hit one just a couple days ago each. Let's see, where are the Mets? The Mets, it's been 22 days since the New York Mets have hit a grand slam. Let's find some of the other teams here that we are talking about right now. Philadelphia is 44 games. Who was the other team? So Phillies, Mets, Cubs. Let's look at Cubs, right? So Chicago has been 18 games since they've hit a grand slam. But let's talk about some of these lower feeding teams, right? So Kansas City. Okay, so let's go this route. This is crazy. This is a crazy stat. And again, you can see this on our Twitter page. You can see every team, and you can go over to it right now. Philadelphia it's been 44 games since Philadelphia's hit a grand slam. And then it jumps from 44 games to 246 games. There is a huge jump there, right? And that would be Kansas City. 246. But that's not near the highest one. The bottom three, San Diego. Remember they called them Slam Diego for a while there? They have not hit a grand slam in 328 games. The Chicago White Sox, as no surprise to anyone, has not hit a grand slam in 346 games, but they're not last. The Washington Nationals have not hit a grand slam in almost 400 games, 388 games. It's been since the Washington Nationals have hit a grand slam. Like I say, you can
That's a
you
fun
can get
fact.
on our Twitter page and you can look at all that. That's an interesting stat that I wanted to bring out there. So the Mets are seemingly growing frustrated with catcher Francisco Alvarez and a lot of stuff that I've read. So I'm going to ask our Mets writer, Jordan Ramos here, who is with us as a special guest here on the Sportz Truth with myself, Mike Valentine, and Gabriel as well. So, Jordan, he has 1 home run, does Francisco Alvarez, 7 RBIs. He has 5 runs, and he's played in 18 games so far of the 47 that the Mets have played. Do you think they're really getting frustrated with Alvarez?
They should be frustrated with their hitting coaches because what the hell are they doing? Like I get you're trying to get Alvarez to use some of his power on the opposite field, but like, dude, just tell he's a pole hitter. Tell him to pull the ball. Like he can rake up 24 home runs. Like, yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with him, but like, usually frustrated with the coaches. Like, I don't know what Shabbat Barnes are doing. Like, guys, you're like, I think you have like 8. Like, I looked up a stat. Like, they have like 18 ground balls for outs. Like, what are you doing? One of the scoring position. You're a joke during the last couple of games. Like, oh my god.
All right. So, do you think? And I'll stick with you for a second, Jordan. I'll camp Gabriel out over there in the corner for a minute, like a child that's done something wrong. We'll put his nose in the corner for a second, and we'll talk back and forth between the two of us for a second here, Jordan. So, is Luis Torrens a valuable catcher for the New York Mets, or is he a viable catcher?
Viable catcher. Oh yes, that dude. Like he has been like a solid backup catcher that's been waiting on for years. Like he can do well. He can do well hitting the ball. Like he has gotten better. He has gotten better. But like they're mostly depending on Alvarez to being their star catcher. Like there's a reason why they were high on for the first place because like he has a lot of power. Like he can hit the ball. He can hit the ball out of the yard. Like and he has a good arm. And he has been framing the ball much better. Like even though I don't really like agree with the one leg. For catchers, he has been at least good enough to do in that stance. But Torrens is a viable catcher that if everything goes wrong, like if Alvarez gets hurt, like Torrens is your guy.
All right. So then, Gabriel, I'll bring you back into the conversation and ask you this question, sir. Do you really think the New York Mets, if they're as frustrated with Alvarez as what Jordan is saying that they are, and they have a viable catcher in Luis Torrens, do you really think that they might try to trade Alvarez during this trade deadline?
I don't think that they'll do that right now. Certainly, it could be an option in future years, but I think that they believe in this core. I believe that I think that they like overall where this team is at. So I would be a little bit surprised, me personally. I hear your arguments though that you're asking within this question as to why you might want to consider it. I definitely hear them, but I think largely that they're in a fine enough position. I think you can stand pat.
Okay. So then I'll ask you the next question, and I'll ask it to Jordan as well here. So, is Francisco Alvarez living up to his potential and the hype that he was surrounded with a couple years ago?
If you told me like around 2023, yes, he hit like around 20 plus home runs, but then he got injured last season, and then like his power like just disappeared, and like he's coming back from another injury, and like he's hitting fine, but like you look at your at bats and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, there's some days where your plate discipline is just off, and then there's some days where you're like, just pull the ball, my man, pull the ball.
All right, so I want to thank a lot of people who have followed us over at the 643 and Out Pod. We've had roughly an extra 100 to 150 people follow us in the last 48 hours. I've been pretty active on there and trying to get some more followers for us. We are, let's see here. You know what? Let me just get the real number that we're up to now. We are up to, if the button would click for me, that would be fantastic. There we go. We're up to 6,575 followers here. So a lot of those people that we follow do live things on Twitter as well. I always look at this and I always talk about this every time we do these shows. We are currently third, so we're rising up that board. We appreciate everybody who is with us live right now on the Sportz Truth with our special guests Jordan Ramos and Gabriel. Gabriel, let me go back to you and ask the same question. Is Francisco Alvarez living up to the hype and the potential that the Mets put on him a couple years ago?
No, not right now. It was a more promising start, certainly, but right now it's more frustrating than not. So when you have a certain degree of expectations, it's good, obviously, and it's nice when you start off well, when you start off like, oh, okay, we did it, we have something here. But when you start entering conversations of, what should the team do, or should the team move on, then that can be one of two things. Either it ends up being, all right, well, during the early part of 2025 he was in a slump, or it's like, okay, well, he's another guy that just didn't work out. So we'll see. Jordan's putting some of the onus on the hitting coaches. That could be fair, that could be valid. Ultimately, it'll be up to him, though, to change how naysayers are viewing him one way or another.
Okay, so we'll go back to our Mets conversation here in just a moment, but Gabriel set me up really well with a question that I wanted to kind of add. We talked about it, myself, Gabriel, Jordan, off air before we came on, and that's the Baltimore Orioles. We'll talk about the Mets and their third baseman of the future, and then we will do a list of the 11 New York teams and rank them in order of importance to the city. And I think this will be an interesting conversation for both of our New York guys, both Gabriel and Jordan, to have here as we wrap up the show. So Jordan said, hey, it's the hitting coaches in New York that need to be chastised. Earlier this week, Baltimore fired Hyde, the guy who won Manager of the Year just a couple years ago. And all of a sudden, he's trash enough to where you fire him. It's much easier, as the saying goes, to fire one than to fire 25. So, Gabriel, I'll start with you. And, we were on this, if you remember, about 3 weeks ago. You and I had a discussion about the Baltimore Orioles and what's wrong with them. Obviously, they've not fixed it. They're still at the bottom of that division. And, wow, well, you are swigging that thing, man. That tequila is tasting good to you, buddy. So you are, they are still at the bottom of that division. They're almost hopelessly out of any kind of playoff picture because they're so far behind in that division. And in fact, teams are already trying to scout Cedric Mullins and some other players from them to make their own playoff pushes. So, Gabriel, was it the head coach's fault that Baltimore suddenly can't win many games?
No. I mean, the players are the ones that do it. I think the manager is too much of a scapegoat. And I get it. Certainly, the Baltimore fans on my timeline, they were absolutely thrilled. They loved free at last kind of chance. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's the players. It's the players, and specifically the individual batters, one at a time, who are in that batter's box. They aren't getting the hits, or it's you on the mound. It's the players who are on the mound. So, I don't put. I understand. I guess you have to do something, and it wasn't working. But if they suddenly go on a run, if they go on a tear, who's to say that that wouldn't have happened anyway? I would be of the mindset of, all right, well, that's just more of a coincidence that you now went on a run after firing him versus not. That's just how I view it.
Right. So Jordan, I'll ask you kind of a similar question, but I'll flip it a little bit here and say this. So why all of a sudden is he the bad person? Why all of a sudden is he the problem? When just a couple of years ago we thought this was the up and coming team with an up and coming manager.
Ooh, you're well. First of all, shout out to Mike Elliott for constructing this amazing pitching staff. By the way,
Right.
with a 6 ERA, like amazing. That's one of their big problems is their pitching staff has been god awful. Like we know ground ball Chuck. Anyway, shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Gabe having them topping the AL East with that pitching staff, with that free agency. Tyler O'Neill has been injury prone. Regress, like everyone in that lineup's regressing. Like Mountcastle's regress. Like Westbrook has been injury prone, regressing. Like Rushman's been regressing awful. Been awful. Like you can blame players on the mound, but like Brandon Hyde been mostly a yes man to Mike Elias. Like Elias is the main dude, the main clown in this clown car. Like he constructed the roster. He made he made these terrible adjustments. Like again, ground ball Chuck and Tyler O'Neill are your free agency guys. Really, like Sugo has been good, but like like you're depending on that rotation when Graves or Marguerite hasn't even pitched the game yet. Like it's been awful for Baltimore. Like it's been awful. Like, and then like you see like Jackson Holiday taking a step up. Like it's mostly because his old man. And I'm like, wait a minute, you and your dad are making the adjustment. Yet the coaching that Baltimore literally was pumping up, like hyping up, couldn't help you. Are you kidding me? Like it's a complete clown show. It's like it's the entire damn circus. It's just like, and you have to start with Elliott, in which I think he might get canned after before the season ends, because like he's like, this is his baby, this is his clown show, like, and it's been falling apart. Like, and this is after they won 101 games 2 years ago. Like I literally thought like they'll be at least better, but like last season they fell apart.
Right.
And they haven't fixed any of those key issues that been playing them last season. Like they brought in Craig Kimbrell last year. That guy was gassed. That guy was cooked. And the answer to their bullpen and Seranthony Dominguez. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I think that we can compare Baltimore to San Francisco as we kind of wrap up this conversation and get back to our Mets stuff here.
Yeah.
The young players that are right now in Baltimore, this is the time when the Orioles should be spending money. You've got all these young players that aren't making too much money. They're all making like league minimums or thereabouts. Then you go out, you get some big time pitchers, and you put all this together. Kind of like I know Gabriel said it earlier when we were talking about Brock Purdy and the 49ers, right? When the 49ers had Brock Purdy cheap, they should have went out, spent some money, and tried to put this stuff together. I think the 49ers have made a mistake and didn't try to do that, and I think the Orioles are doing the same thing, making a mistake.
But Mike, they need to give money to Charlie Morton. Ground ball Chuck, let's go.
All right. Well, Jordan wants to see him sign Charlie Morton. We'll see what that happens here. What about the future third baseman for the Mets, Jordan? Brett, is it Beatty or Batty, by the way?
Brett Beatty.
It's Beatty, right? Okay. I've heard it said both ways. So he's had some problems. Is he the third baseman of the future, or is it going to be Mark Vientos? No, he's had some problems too this year. He all of a sudden can't find his power stroke. He's really regressed. In fact, both of them have regressed. So who is the third baseman of the future in New York? Is it one of those two guys, or is it somebody else?
It's very simple. Vientos DH, Beatty third base. Like Vientos has not been good defensively. Like it's been known for a while. Like he's fine, but like he's never gonna like be a top tier defensive third baseman. Like they mostly love him for his power, for his bat. Like even then this season, like he's been struggling at times. Beatty, dude, this is your last chance, my man's. Defensively, he's been fine. He's been solid, but he can't hit to save his life. His plate discipline has been awful. During the game tonight, he's been swinging at the first pitch. I'm like, dude, what are you doing, my man's? What are you doing? He has power. It's just that he can't just find a way to hit the ball. This literally it's reminding me Lucas Duda and Ike Davis. Even then that's insulting to these two right now because Ike Davis sucked. We literally thought he was gonna be our savior, our Lord and Savior. Then he regressed horribly, and then Lucas Duda, awful in the outfield, awful defensively, and but his bat saved his career.
Okay, so he's bringing up some names from the past in the New York Mets. And speaking of bringing up some names as far as New York goes, all right, gentlemen, here we go. This is our wrap-up question. We're going to end everything on this. We have 11 teams. We have 11 teams in the New York area. We have looked at just football. Let's see, football, baseball, hockey, and basketball, and then one soccer team because I had to throw that in there, right, and give you the 11.
There's actually two soccer teams, but who cares about that?
Yeah, well, okay. So here we go. We've got these 11 teams, and gentlemen, I want you to rank them. We'll start at number 11 and go to 1, okay? And I'll go back and forth between you. I'll start with Jordan in a second for his 11th team. Then we'll go to Gabriel for his 11th team. And then we'll go 10th team and 10th team and 9th and 9th and back and forth like that. And here is how we're going to rank them. For those of you who are New York people or who are New York fans and you want to chime in, hit the comment button. And you can do so while we finish up and wrap up this segment of the Sports Truth with this question. Of the 11 New York teams, put them in order of importance to the city. So it's important to the city. It's not important to, their franchise. It's not the importance to, the league in which they represent or anything like that. It's the importance to New York City. Let me give you the 11 teams in no particular order, and then I'll let you guys kind of banter back and forth, and we'll look at these 11 teams in the New York metropolitan area. So they are the New York Jets, the New York Giants, the New York Knicks, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the New York Rangers, the Islanders also for hockey, the New Jersey Devils, because they're close enough, right? We said metropolitan area. Then we go WNBA with the New York Liberty. And lastly, we're going to look at the New York Red Bulls. All right, gentlemen. Jordan, I'm going to start with you. Again, this is ranking these 11 teams in order of importance to the city of New York, since both of you are from New York. Jordan, who is your 11th team? Of those 11, who's the last one as far as importance to the city of New York?
11 to me is no one legitimately cares about what they're doing right now. It's the Nets. No one cares.
Oh, the Brooklyn Nets come in at number 11 on Jordan's list.
Even during 2019, it's mostly the fans of the players that came. Brooklyn.
All right.
They don't care.
So again, Jordan has the Brooklyn Nets at number 11, the last one on the list. Gabriel, who's the last one on your list, number 11?
No, I'd say New Jersey Devils.
All right. So Gabriel's going to go with New Jersey Devils. So Gabriel, I'll stick with you for a second. Give me your next one, number 10 on that list, as far as importance to the city of New York.
I would go then New York Red Bulls.
Okay, so the Red Bulls at number 10. Jordan, where are you going to go with at number 10 on your list, sir?
Red Bulls. No, Red Bulls. They matter an energy drink company. Who cares?
All right, so Jordan's got two people that are who cares in his city, so he must not watch any of those games. Jordan, again, I'll stick with you. Let's go to the single digits. Let's look at number 9. So what is your number 9 team in order of importance to the city of New York?
Devils. Rangers fans hate them. They're in Jersey. Who cares about Jersey? They hate them. Even though they won championships, it's not because of Jersey. They hate the Devils. So, yeah.
All right, so that's your number 9 team. Gabriel, let's talk about your number 9 team, and then, we're going to go ahead and take your number 8 team as well. So give me 9 first, and then give me 8.
Sure. I'd go Islanders and then Liberty.
Islanders and then Liberty. So we haven't gotten to any of the Major League Baseball teams yet. We haven't got to any of the football franchises yet. We're rattling off all of these, what we would probably call lower sporting events and teams. So it's a little interesting how we're going to, where are we going to break in as far as with the MLB and NFL teams? Who will be the worst of those? Jordan, let's go back to you here. You gave us your number 9 team. How about number 8?
I go Islanders. Long Island. Like
Okay.
they're part of New York, but like they're not really part of the city, even though they try to like do that disastrous go to like Barclays centers from time to time. It was a disaster. Like it's they're mostly Long Island fans.
All right, so that's an interesting take. They're not really part of New York City as far as Jordan goes. I don't live there. I'm not really, the pulse of that area. But
but if you're talking about New York, then they'll be like.
I was talking about New York, not New York. I was talking about
about the city.
All right, so Gabriel, I believe we're at number 7 with you, sir. Talk to me. So you put the Islanders as that team. Who's the team that's right above the Islanders?
This is now where it gets interesting. I would have here Nets.
So the Nets would be the worst of these major teams. Gabriel has that. How about you, Jordan? Number 7. Who's number 7 on your list?
Wait a minute. So 11 Nets, Red Bulls, Devils.
He's proven to us all you can count. Go ahead.
Islanders. I'll have Liberty because like they care, but like not really that caring. I'll go.
All right. So who are you going with at number 7?
For number 7.
For you, would be the team right above the Islanders.
Liberty, because it's in the city. They're a new team, but they're not a new team, but like they won their first championship. Some people care, like they're any fans in WNBA.
All right, and to be honest, the WNBA market's growing. You've got a couple of players that are trying to put themselves on the map, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and they're fighting back and forth. And we may discuss that here in the next coming weeks because I think you've got to have a rivalry like that in order to get a new sport off the ground. So we'll have those discussions. Gabriel, I believe we're at number 6 for you, right? All right. What's your number 6 team after you said the Nets at number 7? Who's number 6?
Jets.
Oh, the Jets is the first football team to enter Gabriel's conversation. Jordan, let's go back to you and get number 6.
Jets.
All right. So both of you have Jets, Jets at number 6, right? Jordan, I'll stick with you for a second. Give me your number 5 team. And again, just so everybody who may be tuning in here a little late with us.
Giants.
All right, you can just go ahead and tell me what it is. Don't worry about
sorry
the
about
setup.
that. Sorry about it, Mike. I'm sorry.
No,
you were
good.
saying it
You're
gratefully.
good.
I was like, oh no.
No. So the
But
Giants
like,
are number 5.
Giants are number 5. Like 4 Super Bowl rings compared to like Jets 1. Like people will go to that more, even though they're mostly play in Jersey.
Okay. So we're not doing the ESPN countdown here, obviously, because ESPN would have all the football teams at the very top. So we're already getting into some of the football stuff here. So, Gabriel, you've given us everyone. I tell you what, start at the bottom of your list, if you could, please. Take us 11 up to 4 now, because you're at number 4. Can you do that?
You want me to go from all of them? Yeah. I had it New Jersey, the Devils, the New York Red Bulls, then the Long Island Islanders, then the or New York Islanders, pardon me. Notice how I even said Long Island Islanders.
You even said Long Island, like they're not a part, like what Jordan said. They're not even a part of New York. They're the Long Islanders. They're way out here somewhere, right? They're like terrible tea at a bar, yes.
Oh yeah. New York Liberty, Brooklyn Nets, then the Jets, and then I would go Mets.
Ooh, uh-oh. He's stomping on territory over here. So you're making the Mets number 4 on your list, right, Gabriel?
Yes.
All right. So, Jordan, let's go back to you. Start at 11 for me, if you would. Take me all the way up to number 4 because I want to emphasize these top 3 for each of you. I think it'll be an interesting top 3. Go ahead, Jordan.
Nets are bottom. No one really cares. Red Bulls, they're being renamed the New Jersey Red Bulls. I'm like, they're at their energy drink company. Who cares? Islander, like, that's it. Yeah, I put Islander because like they're mostly Long Island. Like if you said about like New York City teams, they'll be in the bottom tier. If you put New York teams, then that's kind of a different conversation. Liberty, Jets, Giants, are in number. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3. Wait, that's 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
And he can count.
I put the Mets in 5. Because they like New York City is mostly a baseball town, and like I'll say my number 1.
Okay, so that's number 5 is the Mets. What about number 4? Get you to number 4, buddy.
Rangers, original 6 team. They love the Rangers, man. I worked at the Shake Shack MSG. A lot of Rangers fans, even if they're losing, they come.
Okay, all right. So Rangers at number 4. Gabriel, give me 3, 2, and 1, and then I'll get Jordan's 3, 2, and 1 here to kind of wrap everything up, and then we'll say goodbye to him.
Sure thing. I will go Rangers at 3. I'll go Knicks at 2 and Giants at 1.
Where were the Yankees at? You didn't have the Yankees in your.
Oh my goodness, right? I missed one. All right, let me then do it like this. So Giants 1, Knicks 2, Yankees 3.
All right, so Giants, Knicks, Yankees 1, 2, and 3. Jordan, let's do it that way. I like that. Gabriel is changing the show here for us. So let's do 1, 2, and 3. Jordan, what's your number 1, number 2, number 3 as far as teams that are important to the city of New York?
Very simple. Knicks, Yankees. Wait a minute. Did we miss a team?
Simple, right?
Did we miss a team? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, you guys are hurting my head. Sure, this is your city. I mean,
but I know Knicks number 1.
Okay.
Like it's a basketball, baseball city. Like they love the Knicks, man. It's crazy. Yankees is mostly a baseball town. 27 championship, all that history.
Mm-hmm.
With Babe Ruth and everything around it. It's the beauty of all. And like I'll put like the Mets Rangers number 3 as Rangers number 3 because like it's an original 6 team. Like that history alone. Like 1994 was a significant year for the city. Like it's what else do you want me to say? Like they love the Rangers.
Well, I don't really need you to say anything. You're right,
but the Giants are number 4, number 5 because like while it's a football town, like they mostly play in Jersey. That's why people are like. That's why I'm like, you sure you want to put the Giants in top 3?
All right, so we want to thank Jordan Ramos for being on with us today. Myself, Gabriel, always do this show. We like to have guests on. We like to be able to promote people. And today we chose Jordan. Jordan, where can they get you out on your social medias and stuff, sir? Give us a plug one more time for you, buddy.
All right, you can find me on Twitter. You can find my writing on Twitter, fancy, all that good. So you can also find me at We Like Sports with the capital C. You can also find my social media teacher on City 98 at Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, all that good stuff. You can also find me at Curious Sports with Senor Gabriel. Wait, decide to do another show instead of playing the I like the co-host shows now. And and if Michael decides to bring me back, you can also find me at Sportz 3 out and out podcast with Mr. Michael Ballantyne.
All right, buddy. Appreciate all of that. Gabriel, give us one more shot, buddy. Where can we get you at on all these social media platforms, and what can we expect from Gabriel?
Yeah. We're here at Sports Pulse 100, but we are on the 643 and Out pod, not just here on the X, but also on the YouTube.
That's right.
Mm.
And for those of you who haven't done it yet, I implore you, go to our Facebook. We are really, really close to being able to broadcast live on Facebook as well. We need 100 subscribers up there, and we're getting close. So you guys go over and what is it? Follow, subscribe. I don't know what it is on Facebook. I don't know what that wording is there, but join us so that if you are a Facebook person more than you are a YouTube person, or more than you are an X person, and you still want to see the Sports Truth with myself, Gabriel, and all the guests that we bring on at different times, you can do so there on Facebook as well. Just look up the 643 and Out, and you'll be able to find us on Facebook. So, Jordan, appreciate you being on, buddy. Thank you very much. Our great Mets writer for www.weLikeSportsPC.com. Gabriel, thank you for the hat. We appreciate you supporting the veterans and our first responders as well. Thank you very much for representing them on the show today. And as we say at the end of each and every show, gentlemen, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base line. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for watching.
Hug a veteran.